Hey, did y'all hear that? Tell the truth. Hi, I was running the thing so that you can actually see. Hey, Mary. So you can actually see some things. I just want to stay. I just want to come here a few minutes. I don't want to stay too long. I want you to be able to get a nap because that's one thing I think we all need is a good nap. Do you know I want a nap that actually ministers to me? I know this is like all I heard was, let me tell you, Nabalina, she's like this. She puts on this music that tries to puts me to sleep like this at night because there's a clock in here that it just tick, 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 tick. And she doesn't want to hear. She puts on music to drown it out. You know, I think sometimes when we do to God, we put on music and other things to drown him out when he just comes through clear. It get really quiet. I think she probably tried to take my battery out too. And it just keeps ticking. Just keeps going. But anyway, yeah, I could hear it. Okay. What was I saying? Hey there, how are you? I am so glad that she is. You see that eye? I've just figured out, let me tell you. I know this is I'm gonna be here just a little while. Look, um we were I have been watching this commercial, and this commercial has is it Florence from did my thing just shut off? No, it didn't. From Progressive Insurance. And good evening once again. Yes, sir. Um, and she came in and she said she wanted to tell about it. She said, no, I just want you to talk about insurance. She has a baby on the front. And so she begins to tell about the savings and stuff. And she was just talking, and the baby just drifts off to sleep. She said, thank you. And she goes on. Yeah. Well, it dawned on me, she used her just to tell the story so I could put the baby to sleep. I was like, it took me a minute, but I got it. So that's that music. It's not me, it's the music. It's that music. We just play that music. That's the same CD cassette tape that we played for our children when they were little because they would get up and walk during the night. So my husband made a loop. And so he would play this cassette all night through the house, and they would not get up because um, the soothing, sleepy music. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Yeah, they sung that song. Somebody sung that song the other day, and I said, that's that song. As soon as they start singing it, I'm going to mute myself. I'll put my hand out and just. It's not the song.
Well, what kind of music you want?
It's the notes. See, she does it because of the clock. And it does. The clock doesn't. I can hear it, but it doesn't bother me. But it annoys her. So the clock is like it. It's just like when everything is quiet, all you hear is clock, clock. When I'm in here, I fall asleep. I hear it. I just go on to sleep. Perhaps it's a rhythm. So thank you for joining. This is not the same one I had on my phone. It is not the same scripture. I don't know. It's the same Bible. Why do I have a different scripture? She did say, "Oh, thank you, Mother Roach."
She was on drums in the background. Music saying,
See, there's a Kalisha.
yes.
This is gonna be for tonight. For tonight, it's from Mother Roach.
Okay.
Now I just have to send it over. So it says, dear brothers and sisters, if another believer is overcome by some sin, I don't know what somebody's doing, but if somebody's overcome by some sin, you who are godly, not messy, godly, should gently, and humbly help that person back onto the right path. Don't drive. We're there to build people up, not to crush them. And be careful not to fall into the same temptation yourself. And my thing is that my husband said he skipped school one day. He was in middle school. Yeah, he was in Brooklyn, New York. So he skipped school. So he and his friends, they were down there, went to their friend's house, the basement of their house, and he said they all got out he was getting ready to try the drinking and stuff, that little thing, how some middle schoolers go through. So he began he had the little shot glass, and he got some, I don't know what kind of whiskey it was, but he his friend poured it in there, and so he just drunk and swallowed. And when he swallowed, he said, it just and he just saw him, he just like, and he couldn't breathe. And so he said right there, he said, "Oh, not for me." He became the designated driver. He said, nope. So that you won't fall into the same temptation. He didn't have to fall into that because he saw what he did to somebody else. Oftentimes we see what people are going through. And I don't know why I'm on this. I'm about to get on this because our young people will say, "Well, Mama, you did it. Well, Daddy, you did it." Okay. Mommies, daddies. I'm talking to my own kids. Daddy's a little dummy. Mommy's a little dummy. That's why we don't want you to go through it. Look at us. I'm trying to tell you what happened. Look, hey, you're not much older than me. Okay. Hey, I'm not much older than you. Exactly. But no, I want to make my own mistakes. They're not yours. Think of it, they are not. That's so stupid. Yeah. I think if my mother would have just told me, explain to me, my mom would just say, "You do it, I kill you." It was no explanation. It was no kill me for what? None of that. And you weren't allowed to ask her. at all. Ask my mom, what? Well, Mom, what did I? No, you better figure it out on your own. You know, we're different today. And we explain to our children these things that are going on, but the Lord has given us wisdom. But I think those days helped us. It helped me. It helped me. And it so that we could see those days, those things that God is for us. God, He's not going to give any, He's not going to hand over wealth to fools. You say, little dummy, little stupid, you know, you stupid is, stupid does, super stupid. My pastor says, just super stupid. But the Bible, man, if you go to Proverbs, you'd be like offended. Go to Ephesians, Romans. You'd be checking yourself, trying to figure out if you're in the faith at all. But that's what the Lord wants us to do, take inventory of what we're doing, so that when He brings these seasons to us, we won't be ignorant. When He brings these seasons to us, we'll know what to do with them, because some things are only for the mature. Now you may disagree with me, but this is a statement that my husband made, and I didn't think about it until he said it. And we do it with marriage ministries. Marriage is just for the saved, for the believer. Marriage is not for the unbeliever, the unsaved. It's a covenant that God has for us that are saved, not for the unsaved. That's why a lot of them, they get divorced and all this kind of stuff. Okay, saved people, they get divorced too. Somebody fell out of worship. That's why it happened. Someone went there, hey, they let flesh get in the way. But if the Lord has joined you, like within the ceremony, it says, let no man, woman, boy, girl, you want to put that in there, let no man put asunder. This is what God has done for you. He's joined the two, and you cannot separate it. It's like, who's that said that they did the salt covenant, and then when they threw the salt, they did the salt covenant. Now, if you can find all the grains of salt, you are more than welcome to divorce.
Good God.
If when you have thrown it and you find all the little pieces of salt, the grains of salt, you can get a divorce. Yeah. So when you finish gathering them all, okay. I think we should. That was Friday. I think we should go back to that. I think we should make a covenant, even a salt covenant, with anything that we do. Yeah, Deacon. Good luck. Good luck with that. Go find it.
Anything.
If you can get out of ministry. You can leave the church. We're gonna do a salt covenant first. Next person that joins our church, we're gonna do a salt covenant.
Oh my.
You can leave when you find all the grains of salt. What? You want a blood covenant? I want to be the cutter though. I'm gonna put some on. I'm gonna take yours, put on mine, okay, and then let me cut. Salt or blood? Which one do you want? I thought so. No, whatever happened. We're not going to spit covenant either. Shake on it. It's just spit. Come on. Jesus did it. And what Jesus does, I can do. And I went up, people that think it's like that slim and stuff. No, just we do our kids like that. Come here. You put it on a little towel. Get off their face. Come on. It's got healing in that stuff. There's healing in your saliva.
Yeah.
There's healing for real. Your body produces Antibiotics, when you have like the phlegm and stuff that's coming up, it's antibiotics. When you're, I taught that, I don't know if you're here. And when your mucus turns those colors, those yellow and they turn a greenish color, well, that's your body producing antibodies. I researched it. I didn't know. I ain't that smart. I'm not that smart. But yeah. It's like, oh, okay, God. See that? Heaven bears witness. He just comes on. So, and be careful not to fall into the same temptation yourself. When you see people doing silly stuff, be careful. You know, there's a great falling away. And people are falling away because of the pandemic, of course, but it's not, it was planned before this. God already warned us, and it's probably Matthew 24 that he warned us about the great falling away. He says that pestilence and all that stuff was going to come, but there was going to be a great falling away, and that even the very elect was going to be fooled. And look at what's happening.
Right.
People are killing people. And I still remember in the 80s, 70s, now it must be the 80s, when Twinkie Clark wrote, "Pray for the USA. Pray for the USA." Y'all weren't even born. Anyway. But that song resonates today. Gospel music doesn't get old. Hey, Marcella. Gospel music doesn't get old. It tells, God gives a message through it, and it lives. You could have these. Have you ever looked at the hymns? I have this little black hymnal, and it's called the Old 100s. I did not know. I thought they were just making this stuff up. But somebody kept a record of all that stuff, and I have the black book. I was standing at the table when he signed my name. You know good well you weren't at no table. When he signed your name. But you know, but that stuff that it was, I believe that I believe that the Lord gave them, it gives a person hope through that, those, whatever they take the Lord along with you everywhere you go. You're gonna need him, it gives you hope through this music, hope through this. I stopped singing, I don't know, but It Is Well. Is it either It Is Well, or whichever the one that the guy lost all of his wife and all of his 5 children on a boat, and he had sent them all because he was going to come later, and they all died, his whole family, and he began to sing that song, "When peace like a river." It's either that one or I think it may have been It Is Well. I can't remember the other song that would come to mind, but it's a hymn that's written, and that's the story behind him singing. So I'm trying to think of the song. It's on my left side, and then I'm talking on this side. But I guess I have to hymn written in response to losing children on a boat. Can you find it? Hey, Elder. Yeah, there are songs that God I'm trying to think of it. But that's the hymn that's the story behind the hymn. And the guy, he almost, he literally almost lost his mind, and God began to give him that song, one of his songs. I want to lie. If you know the song, you let me know.
It is what it is.
That's what it said.
Yeah.
Oh, then I was right. Like peace, I come here, but one piece. Yeah, it is well. That's why he gave him. That's why he wrote the song, because he lost everybody. He said, although I've lost them all, it is well
Tragic.
with my soul. He wrote that song through tragedy. So it's the main reason I don't sing this song. It meant something else through that storm in his life. And sometimes we just sing it. We got it is well with my soul. It is well. You know, here's my time. It is well. You music choir sing that? Oh, well, we need to go back to the choir days. We need to go back to the days of the choir, because the days of the choir were, it was just, people don't come to church. That's why we're praise and worship teams. Well, I'm just telling you the truth. Why aren't they around? People don't want to come to church and be in the choir. They don't want to be dedicated to it. My belief is, when you're in the choir, you need to be saved, because you minister to the people. Praise and worship teams are there to minister to the Lord so that He can minister to the people. That's what the Lord gave me. You may disagree, but you do you. I do what God has told me. I minister to Him and watch God move. I believe that God will move. I believe that God will heal and create miracle signs and wonders when we're in a place of worship. You create. I believe in creating the atmosphere conducive. Conducive. In the choir, yeah. In the choirs, people that can't sing can at least get in there and sing. They can. And my husband and I were listening to a song tonight. That's one of mine. And I didn't say anything to him, but we inverted. And so toward the end, I said, babe, does it sound like those parts are clashing? He said, I thought I was the only one that was hearing that. He said, we'll ask Eric. It sounded like somebody flat. And I could hear it. As before, it's been 10 years since I recorded it. But right now, I can hear it. And I was like, and I'm sitting in the car, I'm like, and trying to get that. I said, well, maybe I'm hearing a different. But when he said it, that's what God will do after you've listened and you've trained and you've gotten to a different place in your life. You begin to hear stuff that you didn't hear before. You begin to listen, and those things that you didn't. It's like everything was scattered at first, and now you narrowing down a sound, and now you hear. I remember in the Ray Charles in that movie, he says, yeah, there's a hummingbird outside the window. He said, how did you know that? How did you hear that before I heard it? Well, he says, you just close your eyes and you have to concentrate and hear, and you can actually filter out other sounds. So we need to learn to filter out all that stuff that's going on in our life so we can actually hear God. And that takes time. That takes time, not only time, but time with God. Time in His presence where you don't hear anything. Where and there are some atmospheres that become kind of creepy when it begins quiet, when it gets really quiet. So, okay, my air just went off. And if we just stop talking at all, we don't hear anything. And I can so vividly hear that clock ticking. In fact, I can hear my ear, the bones in my ears settling. I know that sounds crazy, but I can hear when it's really quiet. I can hear, I can hear my heartbeat. I can hear my ear, something in my ears that just crackle. I don't know if anybody, I just hear the bones. If we could ever sensitize ourselves toward God, be that sensitive, not desensitize ourselves, but become sensitized to what God is saying, and that we can filter everything that's not like Him out, and we can listen for the small wind. Listen for it. Somebody talk about the dust. If we could just listen for God through everything else, meditate on Him. Those moves, those sounds that we ignored, we just kind of ignored them. It was just a part of life. Now we are like, oh, that right there. I hear. It's like but the more you practice, the easier it becomes. But yet, then He'll take you another. It's like, okay, you've gotten used to where I am right now. I'm moving. You're like, oh man, I was just getting used to this place. He said, but I don't want you to become complacent in this place. Do not make a memorial. Christopher Gray. I saw Christopher Gray. I think it was, yeah, the guy that said, what if God is unhappy with my praise? We had gone to Pensacola, Florida, and we surprised somebody. Yeah, that's what we do. They didn't know we were coming. And we surprised one of our friends out there. And Christopher Gray was there. He didn't sing or anything, but I knew he'd written that song. And he talked about that. And I you see, it must have been indelible because it made an imprint. I will always remember, don't make a memorial there. People make a memorial and they'll keep revisiting that same place over and over until it becomes insanity. They'll go back to that place of mourning. They'll go back to that place where they've been bruised and torn apart, and that same wound comes open again. I cut my finger a few days ago. I know I've told you a story, but anyway, when I was digging in my purse, and I didn't know that I had razors in my purse for my eyebrows. But I had put them in there because I was going somewhere and I was in a hurry and I didn't get a chance. And on my way, I was going to just kind of touch them up. And so they had fallen out of the box. They had a protective case, but they had fallen out of the box and they were in the bottom. I stuck my finger in there and it sliced through my nail and cut my. And so I grabbed quickly because pain. But when I grabbed it and I kind of cut off where the blood would go to, it didn't have any pain. And I had to keep it wrapped up. But it had been sore for it. But now there was a piece of the skin that's kind of snagged. I don't bother. But it healed from within. It healed from the inside. And of course, and I did I put my peroxide on? Yeah, I always have peroxide. But and making sure that it stayed clean so it wouldn't be infected. Sometimes you can have open wounds, but you make sure that it's clean and won't get infected. It's still a wound, but it doesn't have to be infected. It's still going to be tender, but you don't have to, contaminants don't have to get in there to cause more trouble. My mother had a colostomy. She had surgery, so they had to, in order for it to heal from the inside out, they left the layers of it. Was initially it turned my stomach. I don't take care of anybody else. I did that only for my mother. I was the only one. It's like I was the only one for all those years. When if it was 3 days, 10 days, 6 weeks. I was in the hospital 3 days, 10 days, a week, 6 weeks. I was there also. That's what I the I don't know if it was because I was the only girl. Because I have brothers, but I was there. And so when she came, she had it was my last semester of college. The last semester that I decided to go to college. Because I had already graduated and I was just there. I just didn't want to go home, so I stayed. Just adding up. I just stayed in school, adding up points, credits. Coming out of, I only needed 126. I had 170. Now I have 190. Why? I don't even have a master's degree. What all of it for? I wasted a lot of time, but that's not my point of my story. So my final was that summer session. I stayed on campus. So I decided not to go. I don't know why. I just decided not to go back for the fall. Maybe because I was going to get another, I'm just doing stuff. But anyway, I went home. But that October, yes, it was in October. I think it was like October 10th. And that's the crazy thing that I will remember. But that October, my mother was in severe pain, and we took her to the hospital. And that day, because she was throwing up, but it was green, and they couldn't figure it out, and the doctors couldn't figure it out. So, but long story, shortened, she had diverticulitis, and so they went in and they cut that little section of her intestine, the little a section we had blisters on it, and so when they did that, but they put a colostomy bag, put a hole in the side, and put a bag, but they left the wound down in the middle. I still remember what it was like. Like they moved her her navel, and they went to cut, so they left all that open. And then when they stapled it, they stapled the inner side, and because they wanted to revert, they had in order to reverse, so they wouldn't have to go back in and cut again to reverse the bag to take it out. So it stayed there a month, but I was the caretaker, so I had to all that skin just opened up. My initial thing was my stomach turned. But after that, there was that one time, and I had to realize it's like you get, I don't know if anybody ever had this fainting, like get real cold from the inside out. It's just kind of it's a weird feeling, like almost faint feeling of nausea. But it lasted for that moment, and not because I had to do it. So I had to get the peroxide, some gauze, and they packed in the stomach. They packed it because they lining that open, so it wasn't like open into the stomach, because they shut that bottom layer, and so I had to pack her stomach with the gauze and then tape it up. And I did that for a month. I changed the bags, put the little pills in there so it wouldn't smell. Changed the bag, put the little thing, and learn how to did it better than in the little hole, and put the tape on there. And every day I would change and put that peroxide in it. That's so that it wouldn't build up any infection, and it did not. And I'm a 21-year-old doing these things. Never had anything like that to happen. My mother would get these bouts because she had this bad belly. But I didn't have to do I didn't know I would have to do that, but I did it without somebody teaching me. They only gave me that one. No nurse was coming to the house. So I had to learn that, but I had to learn to keep the infection out. And so a month later, when we returned to get it closed, it was all cleaned out, and they reversed it because they tried to. It was going to try to leave it in a little longer, and they was trying to reopen the little hole where the colostomy bag was. And when they stuck the little iron piece in there, my mama screamed because they was trying to, they thought, well, maybe we can just kind of stretch it a little bit, but it was already healing faster than they expected it to. So sometimes we get into these situations where God is healing us from the inside. That someone will come along and they'll stick whatever it is in there and try to keep it open, and we scream because we feel that. But God is saying, why are you trying to open something that I'm already healing? And they could not understand. You know, I didn't know I didn't know I had crazy faith for healing back then. And God was just working and he was just healing. And as I think of these things, he shows me how he worked. He expedited the healing. The endorphins begin to work from the inside out. So there's some, God will have like these spiritual endorphins that will begin to work for you when these wounds and these people that have come up against you and the things that hurt you. But God is healing from you see a scar. I don't have a scar that I can show you. But you can hear, you have a scar, except for, okay, yeah, I do. But you can't see it. But I have a little piece of skin hurt here, but to touch it now doesn't hurt. But if I were to take this skin and pull it, it will hurt. But the touch of it, it's only showing, reminding me that it was once a cut, a slice, but it grew because I had to keep it closed so I could have a chance for the endorphins and whatever antibodies and things that go well. However, the Lord causes the body to rejuvenate, to regenerate itself, to cause life, because it's crazy how every 7 years you're renewed. That's why when my mother used to plant her garden, she would plant it. Some years it would go up and down, but other years she had to go across because she had to give the soil time to replenish itself and recultivate. They have different ways that she would do it. Oftentimes, she'd be at, because it was an acre long, it was a garden, but it was an acre of garden. And she'd be out there and she'd pick things and she'd come up with stuff on the side of the house, not our house, but there's another one called the garden, the house. And we look and, people are growing watermelons today. They're a little bitty, but watermelons back there then were big, more pure, big. I don't know what's wrong with the miniature ones today. We can't find them real, but they were growing in places that we didn't sow the seed. They were coming, springing forth. They were manifesting. Cantaloupes, like, how did you, because going along, you just eating in the yard. She did, just threw that, and it just came up. So don't be alarmed. Don't be upset when you think that what you're doing is not enough, because there are seeds that you've sown that you don't even know you sown. And then when they begin to manifest, when they begin to harvest, when they not harvest because you're the harvester, when they begin to come up and they're ready, you won't even know. And the Lord said, there it is right there. And you're like, where did that come from? It came from the years back. And I believe that those years back, the Lord allowed me to do what I did. And not that I wanted to all the time, but I don't remember saying, oh man, I don't feel like going to the hospital with my mom. I just did it. I believe that God is good. There's a return in that. There's a return. I had 3 things going on at the same time. I believe there's a return because of the endurance, because I took it. Because I remember she's talking about that rubber band and we're being stretched. I remember those years after we moved in, the Lord said, you're going to be stretched like a rubber band. But I didn't know they were talking to me until the night. I was like, wow, just like the pearl. And I'm sitting all the way in the back of the church, and she's giving this illustration of the pearl and how it's agitated, the grains and stuff. The sand is just irritating. But when it comes up, you open up the oyster, there's a pearl. And the pearls are made from that irritation, that friction. Yeah, or from the sand, the grains, and they're rubbing together. And it's annoying, and very annoying. But look what it comes out. Priceless. And she looked back there, she said, "That's you." I was done. Matter of fact, I had a cup and I was hiding it because I couldn't swallow. I was pregnant. Yes, ma'am. And a towel. I carried a towel, cup, water. Yeah. 9 yards. But I didn't know, and not many people would notice. I don't know why. I'm glad it didn't. And I didn't talk a lot at all. At all. They be talking to me, I'm like, yeah, because my mouth will fill up. And my glands were very, very, very high production. I must have a lot of antibiotics. But every one of my children had happened to me. But anyway, I just believe that the Lord is healing us from the inside out, and we're trying to see scars, but it's done. The Lord has done it. Oh my goodness. Hey, Alvin. Thank you for joining. Yes. So I want you to know that God is going to do some great things, but I'm back to the memorial. Do not make a memorial in that place, because now it's time for us to move on so that we can see God do something else. And when you see that, you got to keep moving. If you stay there, memorials are for folks that are dead. It's a memory. Go make some more. Don't stay there. You'll be crying all your life. Hey, Sylvia. And you'll be crying all your life. You'll be there. And you'll wonder why you haven't grown yet. You'll be dwarfism. There's nothing wrong with people with dwarfism. Terrence, he goes around the school. Terrence. Hey, Terrence. But it's nothing wrong with it. This little, people would think, but you're just as they have normal sized babies, a lot of them. But you just can't stay there, or you won't grow. You have what the doctors call failure to thrive. And if your child is been put in that category, they can be taken, because they think now it's you that's not giving the nourishment. And that's what the enemy will do. He will set you up and make you think that you don't have any nourishment, that you are not going to thrive. But God just telling you, wait, I'm working from the inside. And you'll find yourself not reacting to something, and you think something's wrong with you. No, God he's doing these things inside. God moving on the inside, working on the outside. Oh, what a change in my life. He's working on the inside. He's healing from the inside. Let him work. Be still and know that he is God. Yeah. This is your season. Don't miss your bumper season. Don't miss your bumper harvest. This is your season. You thought your season was up, but there's some extra, some lanyard over there in the grassy knoll, and you don't even know it's there. So it's there. Okay, my time. I promised, and I am going to shorten this. Y'all know I talk a lot, but when God began to give me these things, a lot of revelation comes when me just listening. And he'll give me the simplest things to be practical in the lives of people. I don't think I've been called to the folks that want to use verbiage I don't even understand. But he gives me those small things, those foolish things that will confound the wise. He gives me revelation when I read things. And I could be sitting here and not even know, and I'll flip over and I'll begin to talk, and the Lord will begin to talk. He'll begin to give me these things. Some people, I listen. They said, "But yet, no, God does not talk to us audibly all the time." But I appreciate God for the time that He did talk to me audibly. Yeah, it's like 3 times I've heard Him, but that's a good thing. I mean, most people don't hear Him at all in a lifetime. I think God has been 3. And His fragrance, I know twice. I'm waiting for another fragrance. Yeah, I'm gonna create the fragrance. He's like, what is the fragrance? That's where a lot of stuff takes place. You got to be ready for that. You can't be a baby and come to the fragrance. So, I'm gonna put up a banner for you, and I want you, when you see it on our pages and stuff, I want you to share. This is Apostle Sandra Queen Calvin. Tomorrow's our last night of revival. I want you to join us there. Intercessory prayers at 6:30. And intercessory prayers is so important. It fuels us, gets us ready for what God is about to do for us. And then at 7 o'clock, our services begin with our praise and worship, and we go right into the Word afterwards. But the Lord, yes, God has been doing some mighty things. This woman right here, if you see her anywhere going somewhere, I want you to make your way to that place. I want you to go there and say, no, I've got to hear a word from God, because God is, she doesn't have one of these Gerber. She don't have a Gerber message. Yeah, and Gerber message is for you know what a Gerber message is. They're for babies. Well, she has that you can't digest red meat. Yeah, this one right here. So come out tomorrow. We're at 8833 Kingston Road, right here in Shreveport. Or log on. Make sure you. I've learned that you tag somebody. Say you need to hear this word, because God is about to do something, a bumper something tomorrow. And then on next week, I want you to be here next week with my friend. I keep saying Pastor Evangelist Cynthia Williams. She's going to be right at the church, 7 o'clock, 6:30 prayer. But next week, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, she will be there. That's my friend. My friend. Okay, after that, we're going into February. I want you to join me for standing room only. We're going to be in Leesville. I'm going to set up a different way, because I'll talk to you about that. But this is standing room only. Ask me why we call it standing room only. Because we move everything out of the way. Everything is gone. Nothing less nothing left but you. I mean, I'm talking literally chairs gone, and nothing left. It is nothing left but you. Now, you have to understand that, and it's going to give you room. You worship how the Lord gives you, but and most likely is layout room only. Slain in the spirit moment. It's just, I don't know. It's just awesome. But this is going to be with my protege, the Apostle Teresa Kraut, and Forever Worship Ministries right there in Leesville. So be there. Tell somebody. It's going to be at 6 o'clock p.m. That's on February 19th. So I know that's a line, but I wanted you to, I know that's in February, but I need you to This right here tomorrow, you need to be there. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you need to be there. She's gonna say, "Glory to God." When you hear that, when you hear "Glory to God," glory to God, you know she's in the house. That's my friend. So I thank God for her. I thank God for all of you. Now, okay, yeah, soul food only. Yeah, filet mignon. I mean, some people say mignon. Yeah, God is good. God is so faithful. So tonight has been awesome. I'll see you on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, no, I won't be here at 9, but I will be here at 9 ish. This is the I want to ish in. I'm a 10-ish. But we will be here, no doubt. Yeah, I often say, well, I could have just not come on and just use that 7. But I found that I feel like I'm missing something when I don't get an opportunity just to talk to you or see what you're saying to me. So I want to say to you, I love you with the love of the Lord. I love you more than you're more. Remember, I am your favorite. Tag somebody and say, I am your favorite. And the favor of the Lord is upon me. He has established, restored, revived me. Yeah. So thank you for joining me. And I want to say to you, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May his countenance, his favor, his smile be upon you, and his peace. That peace that surpasses all your understanding and keeps your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. I love you.